Hi, welcome to Sandra's Sisterhood. I'm Carrie, and this is a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. Our video today is budgeting and the holidays. So, we often talk a lot about how loneliness can be a trigger around the holidays, grief and loss is something that can be very difficult around the holidays. And one of the things that I think many people feel, but feel more shame talking about or feel more uncomfortable talking about because they don't want to seem like they don't want to be in the holiday spirit or give is the impact that the holidays have on your budget and on your finances. And, I think if you are somebody who has kids, spending a lot of money on kids and trying to make it sort of this perfect holiday that fulfills a lot of the fantasy that comes with holidays is difficult. And also, if you're single and childless, there's a lot that can be stressful on your budget as well, right? Having to buy Christmas gifts for a variety of different people, and you're on a single income. Also, not wanting to seem like you're not in a giving spirit as well. And it's okay to set these boundaries because it's not worth going into a real financial hole in order to spend a lot on material things. Now, some of us come from different families that make this more difficult to say no. And here's some things that I want you to think about as you're considering your budget this holiday season. Now, remember, budget some fun for you as well. The holidays can feel like a lot of stress, a lot of responsibility. It's not only taxing on your budget, but also your time, your emotional state. So make sure that if there's things that you want to do on the holiday season, that you set aside some funds to do those. Maybe you want to go to Starbucks more and get some hot chocolate. Maybe you want to go to a specific event. Maybe you want to buy a new outfit. Maybe you want to go somewhere because the holidays are so difficult. Again, remember, budget for you. Now, the other thing I want you to think about is travel expenses. Even if you're not getting on a plane and going somewhere, if you are going to have to spend more on gas, travel to a variety of people's homes, remember that this needs to be a part of your budget if these are events that you're going to say yes to. Number three is the big one, right? So, gifts. Identify how much you want to spend per person and then stay within that budget. Also, identify who you're buying for and who you're not buying for. So, one of the things that can happen is if you're the single person with no kids and you have siblings and then they have children, you can end up buying quite a lot of gifts. So maybe you decide that you only buy for the kids and the adults are on their own. Or maybe you decide that you don't buy for the kids and maybe you give their parents some money to invest instead, right? Or maybe you cook or bake for gifts. Again, no matter what, let me say this, whatever feels right for you is the right choice. And I know it's easier said than done, particularly when we're talking about gifts and expectations. And again, this fantasy that a lot of people have around the holidays. Identify who you're going to spend on and who you're not, and then identify how much per gift that you're going to spend, and don't go over it. It's okay. Number four, food and drinks, especially if this is something that you want to do. And when I say drinks, I don't necessarily mean alcoholic drinks. It's not in everyone's lifestyle to do that, and that's okay too. And there might be, again, some specialty drinks, hot chocolate, peppermint mochas, or things like that. Budget for baking ingredients, right? If you're going to take part in baking because that's something you like to do. Set aside a budget for food and drinks, maybe for the month of December, maybe going into that New Year time, and stick to it. But plan ahead. Being intentional and planning ahead is the most important thing. Okay, the last one is decorations. If you're somebody who loves to decorate your home, don't not do that because you're single and childless. It can feel like, what's the point? It's not worth it. It's just a bunch of money. And if you really truly believe that, then it's okay if you don't do that. But if you get joy out of it and you love setting that cozy vibe in your home, then set aside the amount of money that you're going to spend and then stick to that. You don't have to go really far out and outrageous. Maybe you buy one wreath for your outside door. Maybe you get a small tree. Maybe you don't put decorations on it, but you put some lights on maybe you buy a Christmas candle in order to hit the vibe. Maybe you buy a red blanket that you'll use all year versus a really kind of holiday drummed up blanket that you'll use. There's lots of crossover things that you can do. So, this holiday season, it's not worth breaking the bank. And if you're a single person, the holidays can be really expensive. So, identify the things that you need to spend more on. Identify what those categories are, be intentional, and know that you are doing the right thing by sticking to a budget that fits within your lifestyle. For more videos for the single and childless person, subscribe to Saunders Sisterhood.